Welcome to Aunt Mazie's kitchen. Today we are doing steamed fish with turned cornmeal. I start by using 2 pounds, 1 kg of red snapper. And we are going to season that using about a half tablespoon of homemade all-purpose seasoning. We are using a half teaspoon of black pepper. We are using about a half teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of jerk seasoning. So we mix this together and we are going to use this to season the fish. And we are rubbing the seasonings, over the surface on the underside of the fish. We will then drizzle with about a tablespoon of olive oil. Wow. And we are rubbing this over the surface, creating some more succulence and adding to the flavor. We are leaving this to marinate just for a few minutes. So there's no need to put it aside in the refrigerator. We're ready to use it. We're cooking in this skillet. It's a top of the stove dish, as I mentioned before. And it's a top of the stove dish, and flavors are going to be developing, and it excites, the palate, and we want to have some of this meal. I scrape out all of this, get this aside. Remember, we are cooking steamed fish, and we are serving it with turned cornmeal. We have a skillet that we are heating here, and we are adding coconut oil. Coconut oil to this, yes. We are allowing that to heat on medium heat. And as we allow this to heat, I want to remind you, we clean the fish, actually wash the fish in about 3 batches of water, to which we added white vinegar. Then we drain that and then dab with paper towel. Oil is getting ready. And now we are adding the seasonings. We're adding some chopped onion and a small piece of ginger that was crushed. I'm adding some chopped scallion. And I'm using about a tablespoon of garlic. I'm adding carrots. I'm adding peppers. I'm using orange here. I am using some red peppers too. And I'm using some thyme. Let me get a spoon from over here. Oh, where are they? Where are they? And we are sautéing seasonings. So remember now, we heated the coconut oil and added scallion, onion, garlic, a little piece of ginger, I know you'd like me to add a little Scotch Bonnet Pepper to this. And you can see a development in the colors. And I'm going to add 2 cups of fish stock to the seasonings here. Two cups. I'm increasing the flame to bring this to a boil. We cover this, we want it to come to a boil, and then we are going to put the pieces of fish in this stock. And guess what? The cooking time is going to be 20 minutes. I know you may be wondering, 20 minutes, can the dish be ready in that short period of time? It certainly can. Remember now, fish does not have much connective tissue, so it really is very tender, easy to cook. While we wait on this mixture to come to a boil, we can start making the turned cornmeal. So we're putting that here. And I start by using 3 cups of coconut milk. And a packet of the coconut milk powder yields 3 cups. So we wait for this to come to the boil. Because this is now boiling. Smells good from where I am. I could maybe put a little bit more of thyme in that. So the fish, which was seasoned, remember now, with all-purpose seasoning, black pepper, salt, and we drizzled some olive oil on it, just about a tablespoon. And we are putting this in the boiling liquid. We will spoon the liquid over the fish. Wow. Spoon the liquid over. And steamed fish is not quite complete without okras, so I'm adding some to this. Whoa. It looks good, very good. So we cover this. And I'm going to switch the burner. Here I have 3 cups of coconut milk, and I'm waiting on this to come to boil. What will I add to this boiling the coconut milk? We have pumpkin here. we have a cup of pumpkin. Not a must, but it really makes a difference. So we could wait to the boil, or we could actually put it in now. 1 cup of pumpkin. And I'll clean up these as I go along. We're adding the seasonings. We are adding some scallion to this. About a 1/4 cup. We're adding about a 1/4 cup of onions. We're adding a little garlic, about a teaspoon of finely chopped garlic. And not a must, but I have some yellow peppers here. I'm using up all of what was prepared. And I could cover this, and we want this to come to the boil. Here I have 1½ cups of cornmeal. To that I'm adding about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Adding a little black pepper to it. About a 1/2 teaspoon also. Adding some all-purpose seasonings, like a heaped teaspoon. I use it twice because you see, I've actually doubled this measurement size. And we are mixing the dry ingredients. Then we can't empty this in boiling medium because lumping will take place, and that's an undesirable feature. So you're going to pour on water on the cornmeal, dry cornmeal. To 1½ cups of cornmeal, we're adding about 1½ cups of water. This will soon begin to boil, and we could look at what is happening in the pot with the fish. Looks good, smells just as good. This is almost boiling. We could put a pat of butter in this. It's just about 4 tablespoons. And this will help with to improve on the texture of the turned cornmeal, making it more palatable, making it sort of melt in your mouth. We are boiling the pieces of pumpkin, but remember now, they could actually be crushed out in the boiling liquid, but you can also have little chunks remaining. So when you serve that with the cornmeal and when you spoon on it or cut against it, you will see the distinct pieces of pumpkin. I'm using, as I mentioned, I'm using pumpkin today, but if you didn't have, one of my favorite things to use if I don't have pumpkin is butternut squash. Allow this a little more time. So we cover this. And I clean up as I go along. The liquid is boiling. And we're about to add the cornmeal. Remember now, we softened the cornmeal with some water. And we cook this, stirring constantly to avoid lumping. Wow. So as it cooks, the starch grains, the cornmeal, absorbs the boiling liquid. The starch grains get to a point where they can hold no more, right? They will burst, and the mixture thickens. Turned cornmeal is a traditional Jamaican dish. Very satisfying, very filling, and very nutritious. I believe it's one of the items that we should really have included, in our feeding program for schools and maybe health centers. The children will find it, satisfying. This is a savory turned cornmeal, but a mixture similar to this may be done where sweeteners are added, sugar and more milk and nutmeg and cinnamon powder, and that could make a pudding. But we could do that on another day, all right? That's a deal. Now look at the turned cornmeal mixture. See? It has absorbed most of the liquid. I could lower the flame. Wow. And we can cover and leave this for a little while. At this point, we know it's not going to form lumps. So we can reduce the flame and allow it to fully cook. So we can cover this and leave this, lower the flame and allow this to cook through. So let us look at the fish. Wow. Ooh. Mm. Mm. It's getting there. It will soon be ready. And if we wish to, we could actually add a pat of butter to this, just to give a glaze and to improve on flavor. Wow. Wow. See? Looks good. I can guarantee you it tastes just as good. Yeah? So we'll cover and leave for another 6 minutes or so to complete the cooking process. The 6 minutes, that final cook time, is complete, and the dinner is ready to be served. Wow. Turn off the flame, and I bring this forward. Look at the texture of the turned cornmeal. See? I want to give you, I can get this out of the way. This too is complete, so we'll turn off the flame. Get back here. And we flatten this. Yeah. The fish is ready to be served. Wow. We could spoon some of the gravy and the vegetables atop the fish. Oh. And drizzle some more. Wow. I think this is maybe enough. Get this out of the way. Clean the edge of the plate. And we could sprinkle with some finely chopped parsley from the garden. I believe your family will enjoy this meal as my family has enjoyed it over time. I'm looking forward to sharing this with you and to the extended family. We invite you to like, comment, to share, and to subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much for watching.